Awesome.
Well, welcome to Conspiracies and Beyond. Thanks for joining us, Dave. We have an awesome show tonight on Flat Earth. Looks like we're missing Jedi, but thanks for coming on, Dave. It's pretty cool. We're a new show, and we're really excited to learn more about Flat Earth.
What is your all of your views on Flat Earth? Like right now, someone says, "I got $1,000 for you. Is the Earth flat or is it a globe?" What are you gonna say?
So 3 weeks ago, I would have put the way I look at it. I would have
You're
said,
a flat earther already. Next.
Exactly. well, you know what's funny is I have a whole list of things to talk about, and only a couple of them like are defending the globe now, and I have about 1,000 things here to talk about why it's flat. So it's not really taking me long, but I think Jedi is she's still 100% glober.
Yeah, this is so new to me. I mean, I'm coming here from a place of a student, so I am interested to hear about the flat Earth theory.
Well, it's not the theory. The globe Earth is the theory. The flat Earth is provable. The globe Earth. The only thing. The question is, when were you introduced to the globe? How old were you when you were introduced to the globe? And what did they show you other than cartoons? And the answer is before you could talk. And no, that's all they showed you was cartoons. There's nothing about the globe that makes any sense. And they've brainwashed us into not being able to see that. But I can tell just by the look in your eyes and the sound of your voice and your friends around you that you are going to see it today. And before this show is over, you're going to know that you don't live on a globe. And you're going to lose the respect of your family and friends, but that's only temporary. Okay?
Well, actually,
I haven't lost any friends yet.
David, Hayden is actually a disciple of yours. You are his idol, so I told him he could come on and kind of watch.
I've seen like all your interviews.
All right, well, that's a lot, man. You can do that. Listen, I'm gonna go. You can do it for me. You got this. This is easy. You know what's amazing? Easy. Flat Earth is once you get over, the misconception. Like people think flat earthers are crazy. So one of our guys is going around with tickets, and he's on a tour around the United States. He's been going for 5 months, and he gets his microphone out, his speaker, and he goes to the big areas, boardwalks. He was in Union Square in New York City the other day, and he just starts preaching flat Earth, and people gather around, and he says, people say you're crazy. He goes, okay, I've got $100. I'm going to ask you 3 questions about your globe model, and they're really easy. The first one is, how many times does the Earth spin in one day? Do you know that most of the people get that wrong? Okay, it goes around once a day.
Yeah.
Right. The next question is, what's the diameter or the circumference of your Earth? They don't know. What's the speed that it orbits the sun? They don't know. How far is the sun? They don't know. How many times bigger is the sun than the moon? They don't know. They don't know anything, but we're crazy. Okay. Flat earthers know more about the ridiculous globe model than the people that defend it. Because the people that defend it, the only reason they're defending it is because they're brainwashed. They're convinced of nonsense, and they've never seen any proof of it other than Universal Pictures spinning a globe before they even knew what the globe could possibly look like. Once you see this, you're finished. There's no going back, right? So the first thing is very simple. what is the flat earth, right? If you Google flat earth, you're going to end up here. This is the Flat Earth Society. The Flat Earth Society is a government-run disinformation site to gatekeep your mind and to make you laugh at flat earth and never look at it again. We're not a disc. We're not a pancake floating in space with other ball planets or even other flat planets. No flat earther believes that. They want you to think that that's what flat earth is, because if that's what that earth, if I thought this is what flat earth was, you have a right to call me a moron, because that's not what it is. So if it's not a pancake floating in space, what is it? And the answer is the earth. The best way I describe it is the earth is an extended flat plane with hills and valleys and whatnot. And we live what I call in the Antarctic basin, right? Here's our world pond. Think of it as just a big ass pond. And it has a bunch of islands. We call them continents. And all of them islands are surrounded by water, but all of the water needs a container. And that container is Antarctica. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. Did they teach you that in school? I don't think so. Okay. We live in the Antarctic basin. Large bodies of water at rest lay flat. And the Earth, as they say, is 70% water. I think it's more than that. How many stretches of flat water does it take to make a sphere? The answer is... That's a ridiculous question. So that's where we live. So who wants to ask a question first? Because I could take this anywhere we go.
All right. So we get a bunch of stuff, but it's funny you mentioned that you learned this when you're really, really young, because I asked my daughter.
No, I didn't learn this when I was really young.
No, I'm saying we learned it was a globe.
Oh, yeah. Before you can talk. Right.
So,
I bet if you go back and you ask your parents, they probably had a solar system mobile over your crib. Right. So you get toy rockets. You get NASA on the sheets. You get Sesame Street has astronauts on it. It's all globe programming. And one of the first worksheets you bring home from school is the orbits of the planets and the moons.
Right. So I do want to play a clip for you. I had my 7-year-old. I said, I want you to be on my podcast. She said, no, I'm not doing that. I said, no. I'm just going to ask you 2 questions. I'll let you think about it right now. Tell me when you're ready. And the 2 questions are, what are the 2 things you can tell me about the Earth? It can be anything. And this is what she said. I think Joe's going to pull up that.
All right. It can be any 2 things. Okay. I want you to tell me 2 things that you know about Earth. It can be any 2 things. Okay.
Okay. The Earth is not flat. It's a big globe.
Okay.
The Earth has more water than grass.
Okay. So you think the Earth is a big globe?
Yes.
Why do you think that? Just because you learned that?
No, I just know it.
Okay.
I mean, she didn't even. Yeah, her first thing was it's not flat too.
We come across people, our age, older, just adults, and you mention flat Earth, and I'm like, oh, you're crazy, And some of them like, well, tell me more. Other people are like, get out of here, because they have to unwind their entire life being a lie, and a lot of people can't do that. It's easier to lie to somebody than to convince them that they've been lied to, and you want to see something, go ask a 10-year-old somewhere in that age range. They'll chop your head off if you tell them the Earth is flat. They're like, no, it's not. And they start spewing all the same stuff. Boats over the horizon. The Greeks figured it out. They're programmed. Like, they know that better than anything else. But once you look at it, it's absolutely ridiculous.
I know, and the biggest thing I've taken out of this, I don't know where I stand yet on globe or flat, is that we definitely listen to what people tell us way too much without thinking about it for ourselves.
Right. When Bill Nye, the lying guy with a bow tie, he was a failed comedian, and Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's a failed actor, neither one of them are scientists. They're the spokesmen. They're the actors that just tell us all this nonsense. One of the questions we ask people is, what's the official shape of the Earth according to mainstream science? A sphere or an oblate like a pear-shaped oblate spheroid? And people say a sphere. And no, they tell us it's a pear shape, right? They change their story every friggin' day, and we keep making them move the globe post by exposing their lies. Neil deGrasse Tyson says, "Oh, you can't see the curvature at the commercial airline flight. You have to be 70,000 feet." So and they show us a MiG fighter, and they show a curved Earth, but all the windows are curved. But one of the cameras wasn't looking through a curved window, and there's the horizon eye level. And he goes, "Oh no, you can't see it there. You have to go up to 100,000 feet." And so we send a balloon up to 120,000 feet, and it's flat, right? And then Felix Baumgartner, whatever his name is, I never get it right. He the Red Bull space jump. He went up and he saw the curvature, and then we exposed that this is a fisheye lens. We looked at all of these little rivers and land features. This is all New Mexico. Did you know New Mexico covered a quarter of the planet? Okay. It's a fisheye lens. Fisheye lenses bend things. It's flat. And then Neil comes out and says, "Oh, Felix couldn't see the curve. That was a fisheye lens. The Earth is too big. You can't see it." Where do we have to go? But we can see boats go over the horizon, right? Their math tells us at 10 miles, there should be 66 feet of curvature. It's 10 miles, 66 feet of curvature. That's crazy. That's their math though. And I could sit down at the beach, could take my super zoom camera, zoom in on a buoy that's 11 miles away. I can see the buoy and I can see the surface of the water for dozens of miles beyond the buoy. Okay. That's impossible.
I can see 130 kilometers down the range here in Alice Springs.
130 miles. You know what the curvature of that is?
Kilometers.
Yeah, 130 kilometers. How many miles is that?
It's probably like 80 or so, I would say.
Yeah.
So 80 miles, that's a huge amount of curvature. There's so many, there's endless proofs. Submarines sitting at the bottom of the abyssal plain can see another submarine over 100 miles away. There should be a mountain of dirt in between them over a mile high. What is it? The sonar goes over, hits the submarine, and then comes back. That's insanity. Okay, there's no excuse for it.
Wait, hang on. I got a call from legal real quick. Just wanted to point out Neil deGrasse Tyson has a BA in physics from Harvard and a PhD in astrophysics from Columbia. Just want to put that out there.
You can throw it out there, but it's a BS degree. It's a BS degree. It's an honorary degree, right? The guy doesn't. We even asked him about the curvature formula. He doesn't even know what the curvature formula of Earth is. Okay, which is 8 inches per mile squared. Very simple formula. Okay, had no idea. The guy is an actor. He's a failed actor.
I mean, astrophysicist has to be the only job where, like, he's never been to space. Obviously,
no one's been to space. But if you look in that, so all you have to do is NASA and you have to catch them faking space once, and then you can unwind it to everything they do is fake, right? So there's so many times they screw up on the International Fake Station. It's unbelievable. We get them caught hanging on wires, taking green screen shots, playing with CGI objects. But one day they got a fresh lemon on the space station, and look, it's not real. It's a CGI. It's called augmented reality, where they're manipulating things that aren't real. Okay, so here's Don Pettit, and he's showing how he made a cup out of a piece of plastic and tape that he's drinking coffee out of. But watch, the coffee gets out of sync with the bag. He's on a zero-G plane, so it is floating. But look, bam, the CGI coffee got out of sync with the bag. So stuff like this happens all the time, and they always go, "Oh, it's cosmic rays." That's what there's cosmic rays.
Cosmic rays.
Yeah, that's their answer. This woman's talking to kids. This beach ball is filled with helium. It floats. This is not real. Watch again. It's not here. And now it's there. And now she's manipulating it. It's called augmented reality. And she's manipulating these CGI objects, and they're rendering them in real time. This is not even secret technology. This is stuff here. They do it in movies all the time. And that's how they do it. That's one of the ways they do things out there. Watch this guy's head. It's transparent. They're editing him into this scene. I don't know if he's hanging from wires, if he's on a zero-G plane, but look, his head's transparent right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read on one of your other podcasts that you think that NASA and Disney are the same company.
Absolutely. They all work together. I mean, this guy, he was holding the helium balloon, but he was holding it too tight. He squeezed some of the helium out of it and he dropped it and it fell down. And watch her. She's like, no, don't look. Watch. He drops it. Everyone reaches. She's like, no, go, stop, go away. Right. Because things shouldn't fall down. If you're on the space station,
right,
there's no gravity. There's no gravity. And one time the guy was showing something in the bathroom and he went for a screw and he dropped it and boom, it fell to the floor. He hit to the floor and you saw him look down and go for it. And so we exposed that. And then I think it was one in Neil's videos. They were talking about it and they're like, sometimes the space station hits a pocket of gravity. A pocket of gravity. They can make up anything they want because, you can make up anything you want, and then there's nothing anyone can do about it. You just make it up.
Don't believe it.
I mean, people believe anything. It's unreal. I mean, look at these guys. They're in space. Why do they always have these utility belts on? Like, what is shoved in his pants? What is going on here? Right? Look at their shirts. They always have fresh, clean, pressed shirts. And why are they buttoned up to the top like a friggin' priest? Right? These guys are clearly hanging from waist harnesses, right? When these guys do flips, if you're on the space station and you go like this to do a flip, you're not going to pivot at the waist. You're going to go tumbling through space and, and twisting and turning all over the place. But when these guys do these flips, they rotate. Here's a woman on wires. They rotate from their hips. This is the system that they use. It's called the Argos system. And this is how they train for spacewalks. Kind of looks like the same thing to me, right? This guy's hanging from wires, moving around. He's supposedly in space. This is nonsense, right? This is in a 0G plane. I mean, they only show you for like 10, 20 seconds because that's all the free fall time that they have. But when they do these flips, here's our friend again with the ball. These guys, look, harness right there. The wires are going up. You can actually see the wire. There was actually one that was just exposed the other day. We actually saw the wire. And this guy, they're pivoting at the waist. This guy couldn't lift up his knees. This guy, the wire slipped and he fell. Okay. But it's the same thing. You don't just float. You don't pivot like that. If you're going to do a flip, you're gonna fly around if you're on the space station. I mean, they're so horrible at it. I'm better at it. Look, I'm floating on the space station. It's that easy, and my budget's zero. NASA gets $65 million a day, every day, probably including leap year. Right?
So
my goodness.
The thing I don't understand is, so you have like Chris Jericho, Kyrie Irving, these people. Why don't they use their platform to say more than just "I'm a flat earther"? Why don't they make like a clip? Check
Chris
this out.
Chris doesn't say he's a flat earther. He pushed out a bit too. They're having me back on again, but I've only done his podcast. I've only done his podcast I've done 3 times, but it's only been audio. So I'm trying to get him on a show like this, so I can really flat smack the crap out of him. He knows, but he plays. He doesn't want to cause any waves. The WWE is part of the deception. Vince McMahon, he knows the earth is flat. They make comments all the time. You've seen the predictive programming in WWE, right? With like 9/11 and everything.
Yeah.
It's unreal. So these people high up in these big corporations, they know.
So all these podcasts I've been listening to, mostly your podcast, it just makes me think of different things. Like there's a place. Have you been to the Berkshires?
Yeah.
In Mount Greylock, you can see 5 different states.
Right.
There's one in the Catskills, you can see 5, and there's one in like Nashville, you can see big, 7
you can't
states.
See the curvature. That's what they'll say. But but you use their math, it doesn't work. It doesn't work whatsoever. If you think about an airplane, the high 6 foot tall person standing at the edge of calm water can only see 3 miles, and the horizon will drop below his eye level because there's a 6 foot drop at 3 miles. So after that, you can't see. There's your tangent line. There's your physical horizon, which we've proven there is no physical horizon. It doesn't exist. The horizon's optical. So if you're at 39,000 feet, the horizon's 242 miles away. So 242 miles away, there's a 39,050-foot drop. Okay. Well, I'm at 39,000 feet. There's a 39,000-foot drop if I was on the ground. That's how much the drop would be. But I'm 39,000 feet in the air. So the drop is 78,050 feet. But if you're on an airplane and you're flying straight and level, look out the left window, look out the right window. The horizon's there at your eye level. Draw a line. It comes right between your eyes because it's at eye level. And you have to believe that that horizon is 78,000 feet below you. 78,000 feet is higher than the U-2 spy plane flies. Okay. If you're on a ball, the horizon should drop as you go up. It doesn't. It just extends farther and farther. Now, sometimes it looks a little bit lower, like the ball trolls, but like right here, the horizon could be really past there. It's just the air is so thick looking across it, it becomes sky, right? It becomes, when I say it becomes sky, it's when you're looking into the distance, things get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, duller and duller until you can't see anymore. It just blocks your view. Like here's a mountaintop. It's getting lighter, 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 lighter. And there's another mountaintop out here, but you can't see it. So it just looks like sky. So you think this is your ball horizon, but it's not. It's just an optical effect.
So I was talking to one of my friends about this the other day. He was in the military and he said, no, it's a ball because when I was a sniper, you have to play for the curvature of the earth. Ridiculous. That can't possibly be true, right?
No, so you can play for wind and you can play for drop, right? But you can't. So imagine this: you're a sniper and you got your guy right in the sight, and you're like, okay, I got him. I'm gonna go like this and then hook the bullet around. What? That's insanity, right? Yeah. I'm going to turn the scope so I'm pointing over there when I'm trying to shoot over there. It's the dumbest thing. And here's the other thing. What about hot air balloons? How come those just hover above the earth? They're disconnected from the earth. How come they're not having Coriolis? And here's a question for you. Well, they say because it's already disconnected from the earth. The bullet is connected to the earth as it's going through the barrel. So it has the spin. This is what they say. So here's a question for you. How about a sniper shooting from a hot air balloon? Does he have to account for Coriolis?
I know, huh? Jedi, what's your biggest thing? Don't bother
trying to think about it. It's the dumbest thing ever. Go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
Jedi, what's your biggest thing that you're having trouble with that you want to stay a baller? That you're having trouble getting over?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, my mind is blown away. I didn't know how intense this was. So I'm like,
here's the thing. You've never thought about why you think it's a ball because you were told before you can process.
Exactly.
Your whole world foundation is on it. And here's the problem. People are like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. It's emotionally going to hurt me. Your brain hates, emotion, like mental pain or emotional pain.
Trauma.
Yeah. You don't want to deal with that. You'd like to build a world around you that's safe, and you live within this world belief, and when you do this, I'm ripping the rug out from underneath you. But the good point is, I'm putting a foundation under you. You're no longer on a spinning speck flying through an infinite space vacuum where an asteroid could take you out every other day. NASA keeps telling us, the asteroid missiles, the size of a bus, size of a refrigerator. Baloney. There are no asteroids. It's all nonsense. We live here within the Earth system. We're protected. There's no other space balls, nothing. All of that is nonsense. Nonsense.
But what's interesting, doing some research, that China actually believed that the world was flat.
Well, everybody, how about this? Everyone knew the earth was flat in the 1920s. Did you see my interview with Ruth? 102-year-old woman. She was, I was interviewing her about the World's Fairs because she had gone to the World's Fairs as a child in New York. And her memory was so good. She was so sharp. I said, ask her where she went to elementary school. She knew the teacher, the school, the name, the kids, the street, everything. And I said, what did they teach you in science about the earth? And she goes, they taught me the earth was flat, but then later they changed it, as she got up through school. And that was in the 1920s at Hamden Public School, not a religious school, a public school. Right. And so then we did more research and we actually found a woman in Croatia that said in the 1930s, all the schools were teaching flat earth. And then we found newspaper articles in the early 1900s, New York Journal, which is now the New York Times, persecuting teachers for trying to teach heliocentrism, which is the ball model. Okay.
Why did they change it?
Because they changed it. It's all about control, right? There's two major reasons why they're changing it. So real quick, if the Earth is a pond like this, what's out here? What's out here in this outer space? Well, no one's allowed to go beyond 60 degrees south. It's off limits to everybody except you. You can take a little vacation. It'll cost you $20, $30, $40, $50,000 to go for a couple of days. They take you here. They show you some penguins, some ice, and then they kick you out. No independent. No, you can barely get off the boat. You're not allowed to explore out here. And there's so much secrecy out here. But what's out there? Maybe there's more land. Maybe this is Antarctica and there's more land. There's some stories. There's one story. It's called the Iron Republic. And it was written in late 1800s, early 1900s about a boat that made its way through an opening in Antarctica, was lost at sea, found this other land, and there was people out there with advanced technology, flat screens, electric cars, hovering craft, all sorts of stuff. And this was like in 1901. This was written. I think it was 1901, give or take. And stuff, technology that we don't even have today. Some of the stuff they were describing in this. So this is a story about people in the 1600s that didn't like tyranny. There was tyranny going on, so they picked up and they left and they moved outwards. They moved to the outer space, to the extraterra, the extra territory. So you might consider them an extraterrestrial from outer space, right here on Earth.
Is it like another dimension?
No, it's right here. We live in this pond. We're looking straight down, and this is just the pond out here, and there's another sun and a moon that circle around out here. Our sun and moon circle in here. There could be multiple rings. The farther out you go, the more technological it is. That's where the Mayans might be, and the Aztecs, and all of these people that just disappeared. Let me show you real quick. Yeah, Atlantis. So this is how it works. So we're looking down at the Earth. This is the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. The sun is the hour hand, but it's right off. It's not pinned to the hour hand right now because we're in daylight savings time. That's a joke. Daylight savings time is to throw us off because we are connected to the Earth. You can't live off of the Earth. Okay. You can go on a plane for a little while, but if you're on a plane for like 15 hours, you're a wreck when you get off of it. You can't live without being connected to the Earth. Okay. So this inner circle, this yellow line, is the Tropic of Cancer. Right now, the sun is over the Tropic of Cancer. So we look. It's hot in Miami. It's hot in Mexico, Southern California, because the sun is right over them. It passes. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. And so it's super hot. But at the same time, Australia is having their winter, right? The outer southern lands have their winter because the sun is farther away. They're out here. The sun's all the way in here, right? So southern Australia, it's friggin' winter. It's snowing. But if I jump the sun 6 months forward, it goes out to the Tropic of Capricorn, and now they're having their summer. We're having our winter because the sun's farther from us, closer to them. Oh, here's a simple way to describe it. Two of us are sitting outside. It's freezing cold, 30 degrees, whatever, winter, snow on the ground, and we're 20 feet apart, okay? And then somebody comes over, one of us, with a big heat lamp, right? And they're holding a heat lamp 10 feet, 15 feet over our heads. You can feel that heat radiating down on you. That sun lamp is high in the sky for you. The other person that's sitting over there, they look over at the lamp. It's farther away. It's still 15 feet in the sky, but it's lower in the sky because it's farther away. They can barely feel the heat. That's their winter sun. Then they move the sun over. The other guy looks, it's lower in the sky for him. And the guy under it, it's high in the sky. It's close. It's directly over them. That's how seasons work. Seasons make zero sense on a globe. Zero. Did you know that during our northern summer, we're 3.5 million miles farther away from the sun in the helio-nonsensical model? Right? They don't even, this is the model that they want. Everything is reversed. They reverse everything. So here I'm in Connecticut. I watch the sunrise. I'm actually going fishing tomorrow morning. I'm going to watch the sunrise. And as soon as the sun appears over the water, I can feel the heat on my face immediately. I close my eyes. I can feel the heat on my face. And you got to remember, it's 3.5 million miles farther away, according to heliocentrism, than it will be in December. Now, I remember that feeling. Now, that's the most severe tilt if we lived on a ball. It's right on the horizon. It's not, not that 34-degree tilt. Then I could wait till December when the sun is out over Capricorn. I could wait until the highest point of the day where the sun's up in the sky, maybe 50 degrees off the horizon. It's 3.5 million miles closer to me, a much more direct angle, and I can't even feel the heat when I look at it. Midday, okay? Destroyed. Ball destroyed, flat Earth proven, period. And one thing, this is the Arctic in the middle. What's the sun doing? It's arcing around me, right? It's arcing around me. What if I'm out here in the Antarctic? It's not arcing around me. It's antarcing. It's antarcing away from me. Comes around. That's called an antarc for the Antarctic. And it's arcing around me if I was in the Arctic. Though they're showing us. It's right in our faces. They tell us.
So are we in a dome-like thing? Or, I mean...
Are we in a dome-like thing? That's a good question.
Right. It's
So there's a lot of controversy. I believe there's a dome. It makes a lot of sense. I believe that space is water. There's water above and water below. I'm not a Bible person, but if you look at the Bible, page 1, God separated the waters from the waters and created the earth. And then on the day 4, he made the sun and the moon and whatever. Everything that we see in the sky is within the earth system. What's out here? Maybe there's more puddles. Maybe there's nothing. Couldn't tell you. We're not allowed to go there.
So what are the stars? And you said there's no meteors or anything like that. I mean,
well, we see.
What am I looking at when I go outside?
You're seeing something very close. You're seeing an electrical discharge. The Earth is a giant battery. It's a free energy system. The sun is the cathode and the moon is the anode of the system. The salt water carries the current and the land is the salt bridge. It's a giant battery. The earth has a negative charge to it and the firmament, the dome, has a positive charge. And when you see these electrical storms, they call them meteorites. How come, right? How come on August, like the August 20th, there's the Perseus meteor shower, whatever it is. Every year, same time, same place, same time, we have these meteor showers. How is that possible if we're corkscrewing through space? It's supposedly where a comet had gone by and we go through the comet tail and that's where the dust is. That's what they tell us. We're 4.5 billion miles away from where we were the previous year. What is that trail following us? Okay. We are within a perfect system. The sky is a perfect clock, right? If you think about it, they tell us the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon and it's 400 times farther away. And that way, when the moon and the sun line up, they look like the same size, right? Whatever. I'm trying to make them line up. They look like the same size. So the chances of them lining up for a perfect eclipse is 0.000, 100 more zeros, and maybe some more zeros to 1, that's going to happen. But it happens all the time. It happens every year. And guess what? After 18 years, it repeats. All of the eclipses repeat again and again and again. They're on an 18-year cycle. That's not a random beehive gravitational BS model. That is a sky clock, okay? Tropic of Capricorn, Tropic of Cancer, the sun and the moon. This isn't the scale and the speed, but the sun takes 6 months to go between the two tropics. The moon does it every 2 weeks. And only when they intersect at a nodal point is there an eclipse. But this is a perfectly geared box, and then when they meet, that's when an eclipse happens.
Yeah, to me, that's like one of the most telling things. I think it's too weird that the sun is so much bigger than the moon, but they're both like in our sky, and
they
both the same size
again and again and again. Okay, that's impossible. So there's there's another thing. This is an Antikythera mechanism. Look it up. They found it sunken off the coast of Greece, and it's 1,000 years old, 2,000 years old. I forget how old they say it is. It's thousands of years old, and they X-rayed it and MRI'd it, and they rebuilt it. And it's a model that predicts the phases of the moon, the eclipses, and the position of some of the planets perfectly in a geared system. That's not a random beehive nonsense, heliocentric BS model, I call it. And there's a thing called the 3-body problem. You guys familiar with it?
No.
So science has a problem. So they created gravity, and they said, well, space is actually 96% dark matter and dark energy. We can't see it we can't detect it, but it has to be there for gravity to work. Therefore, it's there. Okay. Or maybe the model that you made doesn't work and you're making up shit to explain it. So you can take the world's best supercomputer and create a program and say, okay, I got a sun that's got this much gravity, and I've got a planet that's got this much gravity, and I'm going to put them in an orbit, and it works perfectly. It'll tell you where it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to tell you where it's going to be next week, next year, and in 1,000 years. It works perfectly. Then you add one more body, either a moon or another planet, and the entire thing goes into chaos mode. It never can predict what's going to happen next, and it never repeats. That's with 3 bodies. How many bodies are in our solar system? Do you know? You have all the planets and then all the moons around the planets and the sun and all stuff. I think there's like 60 friggin' bodies. And then our galaxy, you know, there are 100 billion stars with, you know, they say that each one of them has a dozen planets around it. And then all of those planets have moons, but nothing ever affects anything. How come when the sun, when the moon comes around the earth towards the sun's gravity doesn't speed it up and rip it away, or he's speed it up, and then when it goes back around, how come it doesn't slow down? How come the sun doesn't tug on it? How come the sun can hold on to Mercury, Venus, Earth, Saturn, Jupiter, all of them? It can hold on to them, but it can't hold on to our moon. Okay? It's because gravity is bullshit. I love to say
how far away do you think how far away do you think the sun is? Do you think it's more likely to be 93 million miles or 93 million
miles? 93 million miles. I think the sun, now we don't know. NASA makes up, they made up a stupid equation and they use an assumption, right? How about they use the assumption that Venus is the same size as Earth. So when Venus transited the sun, people saw it start and stop at different times from different coasts, and therefore they can do some really good math and figure out that it's 93 million miles away. The problem with that is they made up Venus being the size of the Earth. I think Venus is the size of a small beach ball, all right? But you can't prove it. You can't prove it. So it's nonsense. It's like me saying, hey, you've got $1 million in the bank and I'm going to double it every day for 3 days. So tomorrow you'll have 2 million, the next day you have 4 million, the next day you have 8 million. Guess what? You have $8 million in the bank. I just proved it with math. What's wrong with that equation? I made up a variable. Variable. Here's one for you. Now, if you could look, you can look this up with sound, and the sound makes it more. It makes it more effective. That's it's called a bullet train or hypersonic sled on a track, and it's going Mach 8.6. Watch it. Here it comes. Ready? Did you see it?
Barely.
Yeah.
Mach 8.6. Okay.
Yeah.
Guess what? The Earth in its orbit around the sun is going 8 times faster than that, or maybe 10 times faster than that. Okay. In our orbit, we're going 10 times faster than this. And then we're chasing the sun at 80 times faster than that.
And then I don't know, Joe, do you have that picture of the little rocket we took it to the moon and back? The one that looks like a science project, my 6th grade science project.
Oh, the lunar lander.
Yes.
Yeah. So in the app here, if you click the color wheel, the picture wheel, up come great pictures, and here's the lunar lander.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And if you zoom in on this, does this look like a rocket ship, or does this look like a 5th grader homeless tweaker shelter? Okay, it's paper mache, it's tinfoil, it's nonsense. Spray paint, cardboard, curtain rods. Look at this thing. Went to the friggin' moon. There's 2 guys in a car in here. Okay, there's a car in there.
Right.
Look at this. Look at these little thrusters. These things. This is ridiculous. Okay, but people believe it. Look at this construction.
That is unbelievable.
Exactly unbelievable. And they've convinced you to trade in your common sense for nonsense because they have a degree in bullshit and you don't. Okay.
Have you got the picture of Mars and Greenland together?
Yeah. So Mars and Greenland.
That's a really good point, because who signed off on that thing to go to outer space?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Who was like, that's it. It's ready.
It's airtight. So could I put you in it and drop it in the ocean? Would you feel comfortable with that? Okay. So here is a picture from Mars, and you can tell it's the rover took it because it got a little selfie. Okay. It got a little selfie of itself. And here's a shot from Greenland. Same picture. Now a Glober will go, well, someone took the picture from Mars and added color and clouds to it. No, it's the other way around, moron. Right? It's the same exact hill.
Right. Yeah.
Same exact hill.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
lying. They're lying about everything. How about this? Werner von Braun, the rocket scientist that took over NASA, that started NASA, he's a German Nazi. He wrote a book in 1950s about a guy that took a whole bunch of people to Mars named Elon.
I heard that on the podcast today.
And on the left
listening.
is the book. On the right is Elon's rocket.
Yeah.
And Elon tweeted a month or so ago, I want to redesign it, make it pointier. Okay. That's mockery. He's mocking us. Right?
It's not even creative.
He's mocking us. It's unreal what they do. There's so many things.
I actually got the app today, and I actually got the other day. I like the question mark, how you can look at the 21 questions and watch videos about them.
So again, I have the challenge is every day for 2 Bitcoins, watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks. And then if you think you have a proof, hit the question mark and up comes stuff like, hey, what about gravity? Hey, what about eclipses? Like if I click what about eclipses, up comes a playlist of videos that YouTube won't serve you. These are hidden. You're not allowed to see these because you might figure out where you live and who you are, right? They don't want that. They want you remaining a happy little slave that's willing to work your life away and then die, right? If you hit the web button, up comes all sorts of resources. But right here in the middle, the lost history of flat Earth. There is nobody in this world that can watch the first video alone in that. It's a long one. It's 5 hours. It's 7 parts. And not become a full-on flat earther. But what I tell people is this: watch the video, but it's in 7 parts. Just watch 1 chapter and then turn it off. Don't watch the whole thing. You know what? Treat it like a television show. And the same thing happens every time. They go, yeah, I was going to watch 1 chapter, but I ended up watching all 5. I got to watch the whole thing again. Okay? I've watched it 4 times already. It's 5 hours, right? It will blow your mind. There's so much content in this app. It'll blow your mind. Bottom right, Tataria mud floods. Okay? You see what they're doing there? They're not building the Transcontinental Railroad. They're excavating it. We didn't build it this round. They were here before we got here.
Wow.
All of your history is a lie.
Wait, who put them there?
Who put them there? The previous realm when Tataria was a worldwide civilization here in the 1800s and before. We were all united, but then some catastrophe happened. Some reset happened, and there was a worldwide mud flood of some sort. Not sure on the time frame of how it happened, but all of our history, the Wild West, a lie. All of things, the gold mining rush, a lie. It's all lies. Everything about our history is a lie. You watch, if you hit that Tataria button, bring food and water, and make sure you have a couple days off work. Because you're not going in after you click that.
What about the Challenger going up to space and everybody dying? Or, I mean,
glad you asked. So we did a little research and we found. It's actually I'm going to add that picture to the app. That's a good one to add. We looked up the Challenger and. That was called a trauma-based mind control event. Every kid had a television wheeled into their classrooms to watch it. They wanted to traumatize the kids. They wanted to kick the can down the road because they kept saying that they're going to have, civilians in space, hotels in space. But when we look, we found that 6 of the 7 we found so far have what they say is identical twins. Same name, same birth date, same voice, same expressions, same dimples, everything is the same. This one right here, Judith Resnick, she's a professor, I believe, at Yale, and this is Judith as an astronaut. And we have her making a speech as an astronaut and her making a speech as a Yale professor. Same hand gestures, same everything, okay? But they claim to be the identical twin of the brothers. This guy, Dick Scobie, he had a company called something like Cows and Trees, and we found his website, and it's a cow in a field that takes off like a rocket, leaving a smoke trail, trolling through the air, just like what we saw with the Challenger. So we started making videos about it. Bam, next day, website gone, guy gone, company gone, everything. It just disappeared. Okay. Here's the funny thing. None of their siblings showed up at their brothers or sisters' funerals. None of them. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because they were alive.
because they're not twins. They're not twins. These are the people. They're all working for universities. Yale. They're all over the place. Okay.
But why would they coordinate such a massive lie like this? I mean, it's blowing my mind that how many people are just,
why the lie? No, I don't know. Hide free energy, hide the creator, hide your spirituality, hide more land, hide more resources, scientific knowledge, hide what's in Antarctica, hide that you're at the center of the universe and that you are special, hide that nobody has dominion over you, hide that who you are, that you're a creator, that nobody can take away your free will. They don't want you knowing that. They want you to give your free will away. They tell us what's going on. We're too stupid to say no. And so we say yes. All of the stuff that's going on in the world right now, all the control that the government has over you is in your imagination. It's nowhere else. What if everyone in the country right now was listening to this broadcast? I say, ignore the government. Done. That's it. Done. Ignore all of their bullshit and go live your life. It's over. We won't even hear them because they're too small. They're nothing, right? It's all a friggin' mind control trick. It's all a mind control trick.
I know the more I listen, I mean, Jedi, even by watching these videos he's showing, it makes you think, if nothing else.
Right. I mean, this is the most bizarre, pardon my French, mind fuck that I ever
Jedi, this here's the thing. People say, I looked at it, I heard the thing, it was really interesting, so I Googled flat earth, and you're going to find not the guy we call not Professor Dave. They call him Professor Dave. He's at the top of the hits. Simon Dan, who's just this snarky straw man guy that he'll never talk to us live, right? But he'll just say stupid things, make arguments that we don't make, claim we make things, and he makes a new video every Friday. He gets, he's got 400,000, 500,000 subs out of nowhere. These are shills. These are just this is to weaken, to grab the minds of weak people. If you try to search flat earth, you say, all right, I'm going to search 10 hours a day for the next 2 weeks. You're going to find maybe 2 hours worth of good content because Google will not serve it to you. The app breaks that algorithm. You get everything. If you watch the featured video and then let the next one come up, the next one is another good video. They're all good videos because I've rigged it so it bypasses the algorithm and it gives you all of the content. Go read the reviews. The reviews will turn you into a flat earther. It's available on Apple. You need an iPhone 6 or higher. It works on iPad. And you need Android 8.0 or higher. It does a ton of other stuff. And check it out. So here's what you do. Just watch it every day, breakfast. Watch the daily video, right? If you want more, hit the little archive button next to it. All the videos for the last 2.5 years are in there, okay? And then just start watching these. Turn off the TV. Hopefully you don't watch TV already. And you will see your whole world will open up. What does the shape of the earth matter? Nothing. It's the lie that matters. It's the lie on who you are, where you are, what you are, and the power of your thoughts. Everything you have in your life, you created with the way that you think. This world is a magical place, and the bastards that are running it know how it works, and they're taking that away from us.
It's funny you said that because I don't even put the TV on anymore unless it's cartoons. I listen to this stuff all day, and it drives me crazy. We have a good conversation going here. We're talking about important stuff, and then like you go to work and someone says, "Hey, did you see The Bachelor?" I'm like, that stuff is
unbelievable.
So stupid. Yeah.
The garbage. Wait, but you still pay for cable, right? You still have it, right? So here's what you do. I got rid of cable years ago, and my girlfriend, she had the younger kids, and she's like, "Oh, we did it." The kids never miss it because if you want, listen, I'll watch a little thing. I'm watching Startup right now. I like it. It's just because I do this all the time. It's like, give me something, right? Yeah. But you get like an Apple TV or it's just smart TV. If you want to watch something, you subscribe to it. What you'll find out is you're not going to subscribe to all of this crap. You're going to go on, you go, hey, I'm going to go to this YouTube channel that has this good content on it. And you're going to find stuff and you're going to watch quality stuff. You're going to save $100 a month or whatever. And you're going to just become a more aware, awake person.
Right. Like
we got 5 minutes left. And I got to run.
Just real quick. I was reading this magazine, and the whole cover was about Kim Kardashian and stuff. And then like,
oh my God,
on like the second to last page is there's a little blurb. Scientists think they can make us live to 150. It's like, why are we not all focusing on that and not the nonsense?
Well, people used to live a lot longer. They're controlling how long we live. There's blue zones in China, and all over the place where these people live to be like 130, and they don't start declining until they're over 100. Okay, and their medical bills are like nothing because they take turpentine or something, right? Not allowed to tell you take turpentine because it's, God bless Dr. Fauci.
Don't say that.
Well, I have to say it to keep this show going. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So hey, if we only have you for like 4 more minutes, let's just do a couple rapid fire things.
Shoot.
If you could figure out if there was an answer to one thing, what would you want? The moon or Antarctica?
Oh, that's a good question. I think either one of them will expose the flat Earth. I'd flip a coin.
Really? Is that close? What about dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs never existed. Dinosaurs are a joke. Look, here's proof of a dinosaur right here. Okay, right? That's like a planet. They're the dumbest things ever. The guy that came up with the idea of dinosaurs, like in all of the history, the pyramids, all the way back, never anyone ever mentioned a dinosaur. Some guy in the 1800s, a royal guy, wrote a paper or a book about the idea of dinosaurs. Then a year later, to the day, he discovered the first dinosaur. Okay.
Convenient. All right. Why can't you take a flight from where Hayden lives in Sydney to Santiago, Chile?
You can. There is a direct flight, but it doesn't go the route that you think. The flights, they totally lie about the flights. If I can find it quickly.
And they're expensive, right?
Well, they're expensive, but it's expensive for a reason because it's going a very long distance. And they don't want you to realize where it's going. So let me find it here. So if you want to go to Western Australia, it's worse than this route. From Santiago, they go all the way up here, all the way over to China, Japan, Singapore, and down. Why would they take this long route? And the answer is, here's the route. Up, across China, Singapore, straight line to Western Australia. That's the route that they go. We've had somebody take this who was a ball earther, and he's like, I'm going to prove to you that the flight exists. We know the flight exists, but his compass had all the wrong readings, but it makes perfect sense on a flat Earth, a total and perfect sense. There's what NASA is in charge of all international flight routes. NASA is in charge of radar. NASA is in charge of
helium.
They own all the helium companies in the world, right? And the largest consumer of helium. But here's a flight. Did I show you this already? I didn't, right?
No.
Taiwan to LA. Hawaii is right here. There was a medical emergency right about here. Where would you land? Probably Hawaii, or maybe you go all the way over. I wouldn't go all the way back, but instead they went thousands of miles out of the way to Alaska. Why would they go to Alaska? The answer is because here's the route. Taiwan, emergency, Alaska's right there. Hawaii's all the way out here. Okay. None of it makes any sense on a ball. So there's been 16 emergency landings that have been documented, and all of them are ridiculous on the ball. Like I forget, we're going to Germany, and then like an emergency happened and it landed in Moscow. Moscow was like 1,000 miles out of the way, but you take any of those flights, you take the origin point and the destination point, you draw a straight line on a flat map, and the place they landed is right on that straight line every single time. Emergency landings bust their lies.
One more question, because this is a question people would want to know. Is there an edge?
Is there an edge? Is there an edge to a lake? There's the edge of the lake. You can't fall off the lake. What's beyond Antarctica? I don't know. I don't know. Is there an edge to infinite space in your heliocentric model? I don't know. We're not allowed to go there, so it's a question I can't answer. We could speculate on it. I don't like to say that it's infinite, so I say it's an extended plane. Here's how we put flat Earth to bed, and we cancel it, and then we'll wrap it up. They tell us Antarctica is 13,000 miles around, right? So we get 2 airplanes. We go here, we refuel, and we get a bunch of teachers and flat earthers and professors, and we put them on the plane. One flies about 1,000 feet in the air and just follows the coastline around. The other one goes this way around, and so the observers are keeping the coastline in view the whole time. and you can see how fast you're going because you're only 1,000 feet in the air. So you can say, all right, this is the normal speed, 500 miles an hour. 7.5 hours later, both planes should meet over here, 6,500 miles, or however long that takes. But it's never happened because it can't happen because that's not how the world is set up. Captain Cook was the last person to try to circumnavigate Antarctica. It took him 3.5 years, and he went over 60,000 miles. You have to remember the equator is only 24,900 miles. And so Antarctica should only be 13,000 miles because it gets smaller, but it doesn't. The Earth is flat. It gets bigger. You can't circumnavigate Antarctica unless you travel this massive distance. End of story. Earth is flat. Deal with it.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't think this is the end of the rabbit hole for me.
Oh, no. You listen, you got the app, get that, find that video, mirror it on a big channel, big TV, get a cup of hot cocoa and some popcorn, whatever. Watch it. Watch that video, and the rabbit hole is going to get so deep, you're going to fall in and you're never going to hit the bottom.
Is the UN logo the flat Earth map?
The UN logo is the flat Earth map, but all the agencies that are in charge of running this world, they all have the same thing. They all have it. You got, the aviation organization, a meteorological, they're all international maritime. They're all using the flat Earth map, and they all symbolize Antarctica with these feathers. It's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So Dave, I'm on the Connecticut border, so one of these days I'll have to get down to the Ginger Man maybe and have a drink and talk more about it.
I know it. I'm right there. You know the Ginger Man.
I actually met Baba Booey. I met Baba Booey there for a drink. I don't know if you've had any success talking to Howard. Oh,
He's
really?
my neighbor. Yeah.
You gotta get on to Howard and try to talk.
Where
to him.
Where do you live? In New York?
No, I'm in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you come all the way down to the Ginger Man?
I would, to talk about flat Earth.
Well, we do a meetup in Berlin, Connecticut. We did it a while ago. Maybe after the summer, before the winter, we'll do another one. But you got to go to Flattoberfest in February in South Carolina, and you can find it on the app. But I got to run. I got a live show I'm jumping on. So everyone, you can find me at theflatearthpodcast.com. All the stuff is there. Check out the app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, and you too can lose the respect of your family and friends.
Thank you so much, Dave.
All right, guys. See you. See ya. Thanks. Bye.
Dave.
Bye.
The Flat Earth, Sun, and Moon Clock app. A dynamic new app to teach family and friends about where they actually live. The sky is a perfect clock. The sun measures the hours and days. The moon measures the weeks and months. The star constellations measure the seasons and years. 12/12 or 24-hour clock face, or go hands-free. The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app with new added features. World Time. See what time it is all around the flat Earth. A true Earth compass that shows true navigation across and around the flat Earth plane. Weather. Tap for detailed local weather information. Know what phase and where the moon is at all times. Watch the sun travel between the tropics for the seasons. Select an amazing background. Add your own or have the app change it to a new one automatically every time you use the app. Add a countdown to your next big date. Learn the truth about our world with the featured video of the day. Web button for additional flat Earth related features, from the mythical curve calculator all the way to Tartaria. While talking to friends, easily pull up pictures that expose the globe lie and shine light on the flat Earth truth. Video playlists in different languages. See the real trade winds circling the flat Earth, and clean screen features. Simply click off the items you don't wish to see. The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app is the best tool to show your friends and strangers how our flat Earth actually works.